Hey, what's happening, guys? I want to do something. I was going to say a little different. It's actually pretty darn different. The first thing, for those of you that have, if you've been following me online and you've been seeing me on webinars, or even if you've seen me on the stage like you're seeing on screen right here, you've probably never seen this bad boy that I'm talking into. And this is something. This is literally just modeling at its finest. You know, running a regular set of webinars. I've always been, a lot of you guys, actually I had somebody say this the other day, I'm getting known kind of for these like yellow things sticking out of my ears. And what would happen is, the way I had my microphone set up so that you don't get feedback from the microphone, from the speakers, I had to put the audio in my ear so that it wouldn't feed back into the microphones that I used to wear. And so this is like it doesn't matter what this does, but it basically blocks out all the other sound besides the sound right here. So, and now I can also look like Michael Jackson singing Thriller, because this is the exact microphone he used to create one of the biggest songs of all time. And even though this isn't about Michael Jackson, what today's really about, what this video is about, it's all about, it's gratitude. Jeez, so much gratitude. I'm already crying. It's about reflection and gratitude. And so as I'm looking back on really my entire life, but in particular the last few years, man, 2 years ago at this time, I'd just been coming back from Vegas, or I was just about to go to Vegas. And in fact, let me see if I think I have a picture of that somewhere. I'll find it here. Let's see if it's here. Nope, it's over here. So as I'm pulling this picture up, oh, I don't even have, you know what? It's in this magazine that we're looking at. So this is an online and a real magazine I was featured in earlier this year. But so this picture right here, I don't know how well you can see this, but this was me in Vegas here literally 2 years ago. I was on stage. There was almost 2,000 people there, and it was my first time speaking to. It was the largest audience that I've spoken to, not online audience, and it was super cool. I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And in fact, there's people to this day that saw me for the first time on that stage, and now we're connected because of the way the words I said, entered their ears and caused certain thoughts, and then caused a connection with us that then transformed things moving forward, just like on my webinar tonight. And what I really want to do is share some lessons around, or some experience, or just kind of blab at you around what's been happening leading up to tonight's webinar. So this is literally the biggest thing I've done in my life. It's bigger than anything. Whether I don't know how you know me. Some of you maybe you met me. Maybe you've known me my whole life. There's a handful of you, friends from soccer or family, things like that. Maybe you met me online, or you knew me from high school or something. And if you knew me in high school, obviously you probably don't even recognize me anymore, because I was like in a turtle shell most of my life until like my mid-20s or so. And just had my 41st birthday a few days ago. And in fact, I worked 21 hours on my birthday, and it was it's not work when you love what you're doing, and when you love serving others. And that's what I love doing. And so it's been so cool, but it's such a long time. I've basically I've been in a shell for a big chunk of my earlier years. And so it's really just been a big path of discovery and doing all this cool stuff. And as I was reflecting back on some of the things that have happened, even yesterday, I mean, I have dealt with probably for like a normal person's, the amount of obstacles and things they face, like literally in an entire year, that would like set them back. Like I know a lot of people have, let's say you've had like problems in your bank account, or you get a new debit card or something like that, and the ripple that causes in your life, whether it's like resetting auto payments, or you know what I mean, like those little things that creep up and kind of like set you back. Just in the past few weeks, I have had so many dozens of big things happen good and bad, but I'm particularly talking about the kind of things that used to like set me off track, and maybe things that might set you off track. Like, dude, you can't really see this, but back there our carpet's like completely stained and ruined, and a bunch of our stuff literally of like, since I had some of it I had from my childhood. Some of it was journals I've kept for like decades now that are literally ruined from a big flood we had with our water heater. And that just happened. Like, honestly, I don't know. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We had all these commercial machines down here. It was super loud. And in the middle of all that, I'm doing all of this stuff that's leading up to tonight. And the reality is, the things leading up to tonight have actually been set in place. The things that got me on this magazine here, and even on the stage you see in the background, and even so this stage in the background there, I had just come off of my biggest month of my life up to that point, which was over $80,000. And I don't know if that's what I'm speaking about in that moment, because I didn't even know I was going to be on stage that particular weekend, which was November of 2014. So about a year and a half ago, I'm on this stage here, and I didn't even know I was going to be up there. When I first got to that event, I'm sitting in the front. I always sit in the front row if I can. I fight for the front row at events. And I'm sitting at that very event where you're seeing me on stage. And I remember, let me see if I can, there. I guess that kind of looks worse. So, because I sent them a bad picture here, so it doesn't look that good in the magazine. But I'm sitting in the front row, and this other gentleman came up to speak, and I was like, man, I really, really wanted to speak at this event. And I had even spoke up and like asked if I could speak here, and I was never told I could, and so I didn't plan anything, literally. And next thing I knew, I was up on stage like 4 times that weekend, and it was just such a cool experience and totally unexpected, kind of like the flood was unexpected, kind of like I had no idea I'd be doing the biggest thing of my life 3 days after my 41st birthday, right before 4th of July, locking arms with like some people that 4 or 5 years ago, I may have known their name, or I looked at them from afar like, dude, these guys crush out 6 and 7 figures a month or on command, and like it's so amazing that some of the people I'm going to introduce you to tonight, if you're there live. And by the way, hopefully I like remember to throw up something on the screen here. I don't mean throw up. I mean place on the screen a webinar link. So go to jasoncardamone.com/webinar, and I'll put that somewhere so you can just like click it, or you can just type it in, or you can just think it or speak it into your phone and it will magically take you there. Probably not, because I'm sure it won't spell the name right. But with all joking aside, guys, it has been amazingly challenging, some of the things going through here. But I'm already losing my voice and we're barely getting started. I wanted to thank so many people, and I meant to do this way earlier in the video. So many people have reached out and just offered that they're thinking of me and praying for me, and they're so many words of encouragement from so many directions that I really can't help but to win, because I've already won. It doesn't matter what happens tonight or tomorrow or any place. When you're surrounded by people that believe in you and that that give you the inspiration and help, people that help you dig down even deeper and find things that maybe you didn't know you had, or maybe you did know you had them and they're hiding really down deep. That's really what moves people, and that what one of the really I'm not going to be posting a bunch of stuff on the screen for you guys, because there's a lot of private stuff that I don't know. I don't have people's permission to post to you, but there's a lot of my life I've spent not realizing just how deeply I impact and inspire other people. And even going back to 2010, I went to a week-long, a high-end personal development week-long thing. It was like $8,000. It was literally the last $8,000 I had. It was December of 2010, and I have a little reward over here on the bookshelf, but or a certificate from it. But it doesn't matter. what mattered is I literally took the last month. I was ready to sell my car to go to this event, and that's how deeply I believe in personal development, always pouring into yourself. And here we are. You fast forward like 4 years later. It was almost exactly 4 years when I'm on the stage right there. And here we are this year, and I've been published in a book. So I was published in this book, Power Unleashed. This was actually all about Tony Robbins, and you guys are going to hear all about this thing. What the heck are these books? But sweet, dude. We got like 5-star reviews and all this stuff. Wow. I haven't even like looked on this for like quite a while now. But I never dreamed. It was one of my biggest dreams to be published in a book. I totally didn't think that was like, and I had no idea that was in the cards, and that had just happened. I don't know. It was February this year, so like 4 months ago. And on stage here back in November of 2014, I didn't plan that out. I didn't plan to have amazing people like Michael and Deborah Burnoff here and to be on stage 2 years ago. Definitely didn't plan to be on stage at that event there. There's me partying with the family during World Cup. There's Matt and Tarlise, Michael Burnoff. This was such a transformational event. This was a video that I did. This was a picture from a big video shoot I did. I brought these awesome guys out here for like 3 or 4 days. We did video all day, every day for like 3.5 days straight. And you know, this is some of the stuff I talked about. When you have people around you that see things in you. So, for example, Michael's here. He talks about their energy is contagious, and there he's talking about me. And he says 1.5 years ago when we met, and so almost 2 years ago now, he was all of those things, and he was hungry for more, even better. How many people do you have the opportunity to meet and apply it? And so basically, and I'm not downplaying this. I don't like to brag about myself or anything like that, but it's until my growing awareness the last, like real honestly, since I met Michael here and Matt Trainer, that I didn't have as much of awareness of how contagious my energy was, like Michael's saying here. And it back to that big thing in December 2010, I was in a room of like some amazingly successful entrepreneurs, and it was like it was amazing. It was an amazing event. But at the end of it, I was working with this group of like, I think there was 40 to 60 of us. I can't remember. Well, I was in the group. I wasn't leading it or anything like I do now. I lead those same kind of groups. And I didn't know that I like amplified energy for everybody around me. I never knew that was a gift or something that I contained. And so you may not know all the gifts inside of you right now. And that's part of our journey together to figure those things out. And that's really a big piece of driving what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. So really excited for you to show up there. One of the things I did want to say is, last time I went through actually the last time I did something anywhere near this big, it was back me hustling that put me on this stage right here. And that was it was really crazy as far as hours. There was 1 week here where I literally put in more than 133 hours between my computer and my phone alone, and that doesn't include showers and bathrooms and all that. Actually, a lot of showers and bathrooms were while I was on the phone or on like doing on webinars and stuff. So, but that it wasn't a good balance of life. And so one of the things I want to show you guys, like, here's my smoothie I had this morning. Here's my special tea I'm drinking. And don't worry, this isn't like Mile High tea or anything. Maybe it is. Well, I am a Mile High, but this is not what you think in this tea. And maybe not. And I'm actually going to go out for a run right now. I've got a bunch of tech stuff done. I just got done for several important leaders in my life and important people that really are helping me. And together you're gonna meet some of them tonight, and they're working their tails off behind the scenes. And some of them maybe part of their journey is to put in their own 133 hours, like here, like in the coming weeks or months. I don't know. What I do know is how grateful I am for all of you that have believed in me. For you, if as you're watching this video now, imagining, reflecting on some of these things, looking back on some of the things I've been through, and really excited for what's going forward. Maybe you realize some of those gifts you have deep inside, and whether I've met you or we've shook hands, and I'm a hugger. In case you haven't met me in person, pretty much everybody knows that. And I do know if you're not a hugger, and I'm not going to attack you. Unlike when I was far less aware more than 2 years ago, I would just attack and hug everybody like giant bear hugs. And some people, even though they didn't want it, they loved it afterwards and like, man, that was actually pretty cool. But with all that said, guys, super grateful for everything happening. And that was a super loud S. So, or at least on my end it was. I'm really grateful for everything happening, and as we're going into tonight, and maybe you're realizing some of those gifts down deep inside, or maybe even the simple realization of how grateful we can be here. If you're able to watch this and hear my voice right now, just be grateful you have eyes that can see and ears that can hear this kind of thing. And maybe when we're talking about some of your deep down gifts, whether you know what you need to be taking action on right now, or if it's something that you've been, maybe a hidden gift, like my energy that just like amplifies everybody around. I literally never knew that my whole stinking life, but yet it's been there. And as I look back and I have people say it enough times, and as I become even more this is like perfect, going from software to self-aware. And as I become even more self-aware of gifts like that, suddenly now I can like throw it out there and not hide behind, like, even at this point a year ago, I was literally hiding behind the scene, and not consciously, not on purpose or any way. I was going where the road was leading me, and all this happened for a reason too. I wouldn't want to change any of this, but I realized my gifts of that energy, they were being used on a very small set of people. And while some of them appreciated it and some of them just benefited from it, and everybody appreciates everything to different levels, what happened was the amplification of that, they weren't amplified as much and ripple impacted between ourselves and everything else. And even just, yesterday, one of the things I wanted to say here was I lost like 8 hours of work yesterday, or maybe 6 hours about, and I can't get those 6 hours back, and they're critical, and you just got it, like, you can't. I didn't know I was going to be on stage. I could sing on the screen. I didn't know I was going to be doing this like thing for you right now through this microphone. And I don't know where you're at in life right now. I don't know if you're having like the best days of your life. I don't know if you're at your lowest points in your life. What I know is, if you pour into yourself and you believe in yourself even a little bit, even if that's just borrowing my belief in you, and if my belief in you has to be stronger for you until you build that foundation, and then you have your own belief and you're a self-sufficient, battery recharging person out there in the world, amplifying everybody else around you, even if it's not through your crazy energy like that crazy Jason guy has, that's what you're designed to be. Even if your energy comes from you being that solid, quiet rock that people can always rely on, and you don't have to be some loud guy that gets on microphones or like all excited and really purposely tones down his voice so I don't like blow everybody out. So like, I'm so excited. I'm containing energy so much, and I'm also so drained, and I'm also so grateful, and I'm also so like, I could easily choose to look at yesterday and all the work that was lost and be like, man, that, like, I could be depressed about that easy. I could be like, oh dude, let's just push the launch back. I don't need to do this big project tonight. Or I could use that and be like, you know what, that happened for reason or purpose, and now we're going to be able to make things better. And I'm grateful that happened, and now it created a new chain and ripple impact of things, even if it's just for me to share a story for someone else to benefit from. And maybe it's you, or maybe it's someone you know. or maybe it's someone you know that has something similar. They see this video, and I encourage you to share this or do whatever you want to do. And what I do know is that things will come at you, and you can't predict everything, and nobody can. Nobody here on earth. You do create your outcome and your future, and as you're creating that, and we're co-creating that together, it's our duty, our obligation, responsibility to steal from Grant, and it is our duty, obligation, responsibility to pull those things out and amplify them and make the world a better place, starting with your own world. And that's a huge chunk of what we're doing here tonight. So I encourage you to join. Heck, I encourage you to just keep watching these videos, whether you join and watch, whether you're there on the webinar, watching, being inspired, getting ready to take action, and really maybe it's your time to set an entire new path on your life, and you're going to be there live like so many hundreds of other people. Or maybe you're going to just keep soaking in all these videos and gaining all of the deep nuggets and quietly going and making a deep impact in your world, and maybe I'll never know about it, and that's totally cool, because I'm here to inspire you to be your very best self. So looking forward to seeing you tonight or tomorrow, whenever I see you again. Highly encourage you to check it out. Love for you to join us live. We have some amazing people and literal fireworks here a few days early from 4th of July if you're here in the U.S. And this is for everybody all around the world. Excuse me. Looking forward to it. So, guys, I believe in you. You can do anything you set your mind to. And all those little obstacles, those are just temporary little tiny things. And you got to work, just like I tell my kids every single night going to bed in our prayers, and tell them all day long. Just be the hardest worker of everybody all around, and everything will just take care of itself. So, love you guys. We'll see you tonight. JasonCardamone.com/webinar. And I believe in you. I love you. And I appreciate you. Let's do this.